Last Wednesday, Disney Lorcana hosted their first ever Lorecast on the official Disney Lorcana Twitch channel, and they revealed a ton of stuff during this live stream, but the things we're focusing on today are all the details about the highly anticipated Disney Lorcana Challenge events. For those unfamiliar, we're going to do a quick rundown of the Disney Lorcana organized play system and competitive circuit from the bottom up real quick, then get into the details about these challenges. At the base level, you can go to your local game store to earn points weekly by playing Disney Lorcana and receive promo cards, pins, and other goodies. The next level up would be set championships, which are tournaments held at your local game store once per set cycle, so once every 3 months, where you can compete for a special promo and playmat. These will kick off beginning in April, where stores that applied and received a set championship kit can run a tournament with the top 4 players receiving this Stitch Rockstar promo card and the top 2 players receiving a Stitch Rockstar playmat, with the winner receiving the Champions playmat. These set championships are in no way connected to the next level of organized play, which is the Disney Lorcana Challenge, and what we're really here to talk about today. The Disney Lorcana Challenge is the official competitive circuit for the Disney Lorcana trading card game. It begins with the regional events in North America and Europe called Disney Lorcana Challenge events that will then lead to a single North American and European championship in their respective regions, which will finally lead to a world championship. Players that reach top 8 in the challenge events will receive an invite to the championship event in their region, but if you don't get an invite, there will also be a day 0 open qualifier that is held the day before the championship event. Anyone can participate in these to try to get a last-minute invite to the championship event. Then the top players in each championship will receive an invite to the World Championship, and there is no last-minute qualifier for that one. The challenge events, championship events, and World Championship will have side events people can play in, and I'm sure a bunch of other fun things to do for people who aren't participating in the tournament. We were actually told that the World Championship will be part of what will end up being a larger fan event. The same might be true for the regional championship events, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. So the events are cool and all, but what's up for grabs? Ravensburger revealed the exclusive prizes at these Disney Lorcana challenges during the Lorecast as well, starting with an extended art Dragonfire promo card for all participants. If you get a ticket to the tournament and play, you'll receive one of these. I love that they went with this card because I feel like it's a special one in the history of Disney Lorcana. After the D23 cards, Dragonfire was one of the first cards ever revealed before we even knew how to play the game. It sparked lots of discussion and debate over what we thought was coming, and just reminds me of a really special time in Lorcana's history. A very fitting card for one of the first promos available at a competitive Disney Lorcana event, in my opinion. Afterwards, they revealed the extended art Let It Go promo card, which will be what they referred to as the Day 1 performance card, which should roughly be the top 64 players prize. We'll get into the details of the tournament structure later in the video, but all you need to know is the top 32 players will advance after Day 1, so this promo is a nice goal to shoot for on Day 1, even if you don't make it to Day 2. They mentioned top 64 was flexible because of the way the point system works for the tournament structure, so they might say everyone that gets X number of points will receive a Let It Go promo card, which could end up being more than the top 64 players, but that the 64 would be the minimum. Again, I think this card looks beautiful. The foiling on both the Dragonfire and Let It Go looks like it's going to be so pretty. I can't wait to see them with my own eyes. After this, they revealed this never before seen art of Cinderella Stouthearted as the top 32 prize card. This one will be a hard lock on the top 32 players, so you'll have to push for Day 2 if you want one of these. I think it's so cool that we finally see what's basically the enchanted version of Cinderella Stouthearted. That was a card I wondered why I never got one, and now I know. It'll make it an even more special promo card, since the only card that has this version of Cinderella Stouthearted will have to be earned. Next, we finally get to see what's essentially a Rapunzel enchanted card as the top 16 prize card. I couldn't believe Rapunzel never got an enchanted card because of how popular her character and movie is, while also being a great card in general. This has to be one of the most beautiful cards in Disney Lorcana, and I'm gonna be so jealous of anyone that earns one of these. It's just stunning in my opinion, and I can't imagine how valuable these will end up being, since only the top 16 will receive them. This is a card worth competing for in my opinion. If you happen to make it all the way to top 8, then not only will you receive a beautiful Rapunzel promo card, but you'll also receive this foiled Rapunzel top 8 playmat. I've never seen a foiled playmat, but with this art on it, I'm sure it's gonna look great. Also, if you reach top 8, you'll automatically get the invite to the North American or European Disney Lorcana Championship event in the respective region. Finally, the top 4 players at a Disney Lorcana Challenge will receive a gold serialized Mickey Brave Little Tailor card as their prize. Ravensburger mentioned on the Lorecast that they didn't want to reveal what the card looked like digitally because it doesn't do the card justice, and they had to wait until they could show us the physical card. I can't wait to see what these actually look like if they felt the need to wait until they could show us the real thing. Brave Little Tailor is the perfect card to be the top prize at the first year of Disney Lorcana Challenge events, with it being the poster card for the first chapter in my opinion. That's just such a meaningful card and symbolizes the start of this beautiful game. The fact that they're serialized is so cool. If anybody doesn't know what that means, that basically means every one of those cards will be numbered. So if you win one of these, you'll literally have the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 card out of the 40 that will end up being made. You'll be able to track exactly whose hands they exchanged or exactly who ended up winning it if it ends up being sold and passed by a couple hands. I just can't wait to see this card. Now that we know what Disney Lorcana Challenge is and what's up for grabs, we need to know how to participate. Fortunately, at the end of the week, all the dates and locations for both North American and European Disney Lorcana Challenge events were revealed. All of the challenge events will start with a 512 player cap, but Ravensburger was transparent in saying if more room is needed because tickets are selling too quickly, they're willing to increase that number, which I think is a great thing. North America will host 6 challenge events beginning in Atlanta, Georgia on May 25th. The other challenge events will be in Chicago, Illinois, Fort Worth, Texas, Toronto, Ontario, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Seattle, Washington during the dates shown. Europe will host 4 challenge events starting with Lille, France on May 25th. The other 3 will be held in Bochum, Germany, Bologna, Italy, and Birmingham, United Kingdom. The tickets for these will go on sale pretty soon if they haven't already by the time this is uploaded, so be on the lookout for those. They will go on sale one event at a time, so don't worry about trying to book all of the events at once. Just pay attention when the ones you are interested in go on sale. It looks like the ticket cost will be around $50 for the North American events and €50 for the European ones. If you're scared of missing when the tickets go on sale for the event you're interested in, be sure to follow Disney Lorcana's Twitter page where they will announce it, or my Twitter page where I'll also be retweeting and keeping up with these things. Finally, we need to know what the tournament structure for these challenges will be leading to the championships and worlds. The tournament structure is probably going to be different than what you're used to if you're familiar with competitive TCG events. Rather than using a best of 3 or best of 1 format, Ravensburger is deciding to use a Swiss 2-game format. This is how the format works. Each match will consist of only 2 games. Before the match starts, the players will randomly decide who gets the option to pick which game they'd rather go first in, because each player will go first in one of those 2 games and go second in the other. In the 2-game format, each player goes first in one of the 2 games regardless of who lost the previous game. Each player will receive 1 point for every game they win. If they manage to win both games in their match, they will receive an additional point for winning both games, totaling to 3 points. So if a player wins game 1, they will gain 1 point, and if they win game 2, they will gain a second point, then receive a third point for winning both games. If a player only wins 1 game out of the 2, they will only receive 1 point for the game they won. And of course, if a player loses both games, they will receive no points. This system is built on gaining points for every win you get. If for some reason both players don't finish a game before time is called and turns are played out, neither player will receive a point for that game. Something to note here is the second game in every round is weighed heavier than the first. This likely won't come up too often, but when it comes to ties and their tiebreakers, they will first be decided by points, so whoever has the most points, then by strength of schedule, so who has the highest opponent win percentage, which is just the average win percentage of all of the opponents you've played compared to everyone else's. In other words, if the people you've played against have won a lot of matches, your opponent win percentage and strength of schedule will likely be higher than others. After this, if strength of schedule is tied between 2 players, the tiebreaker is the number of game 2s won. This just means that winning your second game more often will increase your chances of getting ranked higher than other people with the same number of points and strength of schedule as you. After Swiss rounds, a winner has to be decided in every game played in Top Cut, so it will be best of 3 rounds once players enter Top Cut. I think this is a really interesting system. Ravensburger talked about it in length during the Lorecast, and the more things they brought up, the more I started to like the format idea. In the 2-game format, every game matters, because even if you only win 1 game in the round, you're still accumulating points. Compare this to a best of 3 format. If you win 1 game and lose 2 games every round, you'll walk away with 0 points, meaning those games you won ended up being meaningless. I really like that in the 2-game format, every game you win means something and is worth points. It really incentivizes people to keep playing, because even if you go 0-2 in the first few rounds, you still have opportunities to place well in your future rounds even if you go 1-1. You aren't required to win win every game for the rest of the tournament, or else you might as well drop out. They also mentioned that this format pairs you up against similarly skilled players faster than the others and ultimately puts the top players against each other sooner, making it more likely that the best players reach the top by the end of the Swiss rounds. When you look at results after round 1 in a best of 3 format, you're left with 3 potential groups: winners, losers, and draws that all get paired against each other. Then after round 2, that increases to 9 groups. After round 3, it increases to 27, and so on. In a 2-game format, after round 1, you actually have 4 groups: win-win, win-loss, loss-win, and loss-loss. These all get paired to similar records, and after round 2, there's 16 groups, then 64 in round 3, and so on. As you can see, it very quickly starts filtering people into smaller and smaller groups until you're playing people with very similar records as you. I really like this feature because unlike a best of 3 format, if a great player starts on a bad streak and starts to get paired up against worse players, it won't take long before they're sorted into a group of players playing at a similar level, and vice versa. If a player starts on a hot streak, they're being paired against other really good players. Unless they can keep that up, they should quickly be filtered down to other players closer to their skill level. Theoretically, it should filter people into a position that reflects their skill level compared to everyone else. This, of course, sparked a lot of debate within the Lorcana community. It's different, and I'm certainly eager to see how this format plays out. I can't wait to watch or participate in it during the challenge events, but I want to know your thoughts down below on this system. Are there things you do or don't like about it? Do you have concerns, or does it seem like a solution to problem TCGs have had for years? Let me know in the comments below. I personally think it's going to work pretty well. Ravensburger mentioned during the Lorecast that they've tested this format with groups under an NDA, and even a lot of the hyper-competitive players who were hesitant about the format before playing the tournament came out of the tournament finding things that they liked about it. It sounds like a decent solution to a lot of problems, so I can't wait to try it out soon. One last detail before I sign off: we learned that a new Disney Lorcana set must have been released for at least 1 week after mass retail release before that set can be used in the challenge events. This means that even though set 4, Ursula's Return, will release May 17th at local game stores, it will not be legal to play at the very first Disney Lorcana challenge event on May 25th and 26th. Ursula's Return will only be legal to play a week after its mass retail release, scheduled for May 31st. This also sparked some negative emotions from people in the community, but I for one enjoy that Ravensburger is taking this stance. It gives people 3 weeks after the hobby store release date to obtain cards before their legal and official play, where tournament invites are being earned. This means people are more likely to win due to being actually skilled players, and not because they were able to get their hands on new cards and others weren't. Other games work this way and do just fine. I think this will be fine as well. For now, I think that's everything you need to know about the Disney Lorcana challenge events. I can't express how excited I am for these, as I've been waiting for something like this since before the game even came out. I'm planning to go to the Atlanta and Fort Worth challenge events if I can get a ticket, possibly the Chicago one as well, but I've got to save some money for the North American Championship and Worlds. I've said it before, but I'll keep saying it until it happens. It's a dream of mine to be a commentator at one of these official events, so Ravensburger, if you need someone, you know where to find me. Tell me where to go and I'll be there. Hopefully you found this information useful and I'll get to see some of you at future events. Let me know which ones you're thinking about going to in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give it a like, and if you want to see more Lorcana content like this, be sure to subscribe. I've got some fun ideas for future videos and don't want you to miss them. Most importantly, don't forget to take care of yourself. My name is Brandon, also known as B Squared. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.